Thank you, thank you. As she said, I am running for Senate. I could go into all my whole spiel, but we'd be here all night. And the video is on the website. And so now you're on Facebook. You can go watch it, see the reason why I'm running for Senate. This is a little more laid back than y'all are not used to me, but she knows I get passionate and energetic, and
yes, that's what we love about you.
I get going and hooping and
hollering.
yeah. But this is different. This is more just casual, social. Casual. So we're talking about becoming. Let me get my notes up. Becoming the right team player. And now the word right you see up there does not mean in the political spectrum right versus left. I just want everybody to know that's not what that means. I'm not saying be the right wing. I'm saying right versus wrong. So being the right versus the wrong team player. So being a right team player. And there's a story about the New England Patriots. Now we know they just lost the Super Bowl. Yeah, but anyway, the New England Patriots, they had like an outing, like a big banquet type thing for everybody that worked for the organization. And so, I mean, your football player, secretary, janitor, whatever, they had this big thing. And so reporters were coming there, and the reporters came up to this one lady who's a receptionist. She just answers phones. And they asked her, "What do you do?" And she could have said, "I answer phones." What she said was, "I help win football games." So the question is, what do you do, Just like that lady that says she wins football games. So I'm thinking about in the libertarian movement or the liberty movement, what do you do? We kind of, like I said, well, I'm running for Senate, but actually, what do you do? I help, advance liberty. I help try to bring liberty to America. So just think of that. What do you do? So we talk about 5 qualities of being a team player. Number 1 is character. So you gotta not being a character. I'm definitely a character, but having character, having integrity, being a person that people can trust, people can look up to, having that character in liberty. We see a problem today in politics. People don't have character, and so it's kind of what it means to be a politician. No character, no. But you got to have character. The next one is competency. So you gotta be competent in what you do. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect, but you have to be able, in what you decide to do and what you do in working toward liberty. You gotta be competent at it. You gotta be able to do the best you can. Don't be lazy. Pretty much is what that is. Don't be lazy. The next one is chemistry. And chemistry is kind of like likability. And I was talking with Chris early on the way. I said I was going to talk about likability, because you ever been at a meeting and there's a person that comes into the meeting and nobody wants them to be at the meeting, because they're just so annoying that they make you not want to even show up to meetings anymore because of that person. So likability. And so I'm sure everyone can think of somebody, that makes them not want to do things because they're not likable. They don't have that chemistry that everybody working together. And if you don't know who it is, it might be you. That's what they say. But yeah. So having the chemistry, the likability, that's a good part of being a team player. Cooperative. A lot of people, when we get into meetings and we have discussions, some people have the idea it's my way or the highway, that type of person. But people, when you think about people don't just, they don't necessarily want to have their way, but they like to have their way considered.
Right.
Right. So they may not need, they don't need just to have their way. They just want you to listen to them. They want you to consider.
I just want you to listen.
So see, you can take this home,
right,
and say, see, this is what he said. You just need to listen to me once every while. And so, so cooperative. So, we're trying to work together. We don't have to, especially in politics, when you get into a position, is that cooperation. You don't have to go with their way because, obviously I'm not going to do something that's statist, but at least I can sit down and talk with them. And I have this border, this boundary. My treasurer getting all drunk.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
He didn't actually drink it.
The next one, and the final one on that is a common goal. And that's the big thing I think about the liberty movement. And we were talking earlier about libertarian, little L libertarian, is that we're all, especially that little L libertarian. We have a common goal, which is liberty, to get the government out of our lives as much as possible. So that is our common goal. And I kind of think that kind of makes me think about, well, there's the word that we like to use, principle over party.
Yeah.
Yeah, principle over party. And I'm going to give the guy some plugs here now. Austin Peterson, when he left the Libertarian Party to run Republican, a lot of people got mad. And he said, well, I thought y'all said it was principle over party. And the truth of the matter is, how do I say it? I kind of back Austin for what he's doing. Because in the end of the day, we're on the same team. We have a common goal, liberty. And so back in July, when I announced at the convention, out of kind of protest, but anyway, I got up and announced that I was running. As soon as I did that, I contacted Austin. He already knew that I was thinking about running.
Wow.
From the night before, he already knew before I ever announced that I was running, because a mutual friend had talked to him and let him know that I was about to do that. And so as soon as I did, I contacted him and said, you know what? We're on the same team. We're both trying to get to liberty. So whether I win or whether you win, as long as somebody that's libertarian that wants liberty wins, that's the most important goal. We got to defeat Claire McCaskill and win. And we made a commitment to each other to keep it positive no matter what happens, throughout the elections. Because like I say, we have the common goal. It's liberty. We're on the same team. I've been thinking about how the Libertarian Party, we try just to elect people as libertarians to the Libertarian Party. And this is not like a popularity thing that would get me elected to like chairman of the Libertarian Party saying this. But I kind of wonder if we should be both a political party and a political action committee. And so we try to go at it from two different ways, because definitely the two-party system is not what we need. So we need to get rid of that eventually. But the problem is trying to get rid of it. It's going to take us a while to get rid of it. So if we just try to run through a third party, we're not going to be very successful. But there is a need to run third-party candidates, because if we're not a third party, then we'll never get rid of the two-party system. So my thing is, I think we need to run people in the Libertarian Party, because there's people that probably sound bad, but they can probably never win anything in a major party anyway. Does that sound like it's really horrible to say that? But they make a great representation of the message of liberty by running as libertarians. So we like to run a lot of people locally. But there's some people that they could win in a major party. They're libertarian, they can win in a major party, but we want them to run in a small party, our party, which they possibly can't win. I think Austin Peterson is a very good example of a person that has the capability of winning in a major party, that if we were to have let him run or made him run in the Libertarian Party, I don't think I shouldn't say he couldn't win, because that means I can't win. But it's still the same difficulty of trying to make an impact. The same, it's not, nothing's impossible, but it's very difficult to get to that position. I was telling Chris this week, I was like, I don't think that Donald Trump, Barack Obama, or any of those people could have won running through the Libertarian Party, because people are so scared to vote.
Yes.
Yes. Scared to vote.
Away your vote.
Yes. And so I think we need to be strategic and try to run as many people through a major party to get them actually in office while we run people in our own parties. And that's kind of the strategy that people have used in the past. When communists try to take over America, they didn't come run their own little. I mean, they had their own party, but you got to infiltrate every major party, Democrat and Republican, to take over. So that's kind of a side comment, something I've been thinking about. And it just kind of fit into the whole team thing about how I think we need to broaden our idea of not just being a party, but being an action committee that is going to do whatever it takes to get libertarians into office, but also to get rid of the two-party system. So it's like a two-pronged thing that we have to do. Yes, I'm a Trojan. No.
I knew it.
Okay, I'm going to pull up it's going to be like a devotional. Because I have an actual scripture verse. The reason why I put the scripture verse, because in the church, in the Bible, the church, the church is not just a building. The church is like everybody, the whole group. And so the church in the Bible, they call it the body of Christ. And so this is the Apostle Paul in the book of Romans was talking about the church, saying just as there are many parts to our body, so it is with Christ's body. We're all parts of it. It takes every one of us to make it complete. But we each have different work to do. So we belong to each other, and each needs all the others. And so that's the same, that principle, that spiritual principle also applies to what we're doing for liberty, that as this liberty movement that we're doing, that we're all different parts. So the different parts of the Bible, different parts of the body, you need every part of it. I was thinking, and I have a different illustration, but I'm going to do two illustrations because this one's been on my mind. From the Super Bowl we just watched, who's the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles? Nick Foles. And Nick Foles, he had to have an arm to keep throwing the football. So the arm is the most important part of Nick Foles' body for winning a Super Bowl. At least that's what we think. But one of the main plays that he did was to not even catch the ball, not to throw the ball, but he had to run over to the end zone and catch the ball. Now, think about if he didn't have his big toe. If he didn't have a toe, he would not be able to be really stable and run over to that end zone. So even though his arm is very important for winning the Super Bowl, in that moment, there were other parts of his body that were just as important to make sure that they won the Super Bowl. So what it is everybody is a different part in the movement of liberty. You might be a toe, but you're a very important toe, for us to make liberty happen. So that's what that's all about. Cool. So a definition of team. Oh, actually, before I talk about the definition of team, we'll get into team. I did want to give one more illustration. Because I like these sports illustrations. It's an illustration about the Chicago Bulls back there in Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, they had this one night where Michael Jordan scored 69 points in a basketball game. And it was like, this big thing, great thing. And so all these reporters were in there, Michael Jordan in the locker room. Reporters were just all around Michael Jordan. And there was this one reporter, and he just couldn't get in. All he wanted was a sound bite or something like that. He couldn't get past everybody else to get to Michael Jordan. And then he saw over to the side there was this rookie player. The player, his name was Stacey King. He was a rookie for the Chicago Bulls. And he's just over there by himself because nobody cares about a rookie, when there's Michael Jordan. And so the reporter said, well, I need to get something. So he went to start talking to the rookie. What do you think about it? How did you do tonight? And the rookie's like, well, I scored 1 point. And the guy's like, well, I bet you're embarrassed about that. Michael Jordan scored 69. What are you going to tell your kids someday, about you scoring 1 point? He said, well, I'm going to tell them I'll never forget the night that Michael Jordan and I scored 70 points. So Michael Jordan scored 69 and he scored 1. And the truth of the matter, if it had just been Michael Jordan's 69 points, they wouldn't have won the game because the other team scored more than 69 points. So you had Scottie Pippen, I think, scored 12. Someone else scored 8, and this guy scored 1. So it was all these guys scoring points, not just Michael Jordan 69 that won the game. And so that shows the importance of everybody. You may score 1 point, but together we're all scoring the big points to win the game for Liberty. So the definition of team, first one, T is trust. Trust. And so there's 3 building blocks of trust. And I have them right here: consistency, loyalty, and time. And consistency, there's people that that they're consistent. They're always there. They're there on time. And if they were 10 minutes late because they're so consistent, you would think they must have died or something. Like, why are they not here? Then there's other people, they're late all the time. So if they did die, nobody would think of it for weeks because they'd be like, they're just not consistent. They don't show up. So one of the things of being a good team player for Liberty or for anything else in life is consistency. Just being consistent with what you do. When people can rely on you, people can trust, that if you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. Loyalty, being they know you can be loyal, you're consistent, you're trustworthy with your time. It's just those 3 things are the building blocks: consistency, loyalty, and time. And the proof of trust is delegation. And so people know they can. If you can trust someone, you can delegate to them something to do. You can trust them to delegate to them, or if someone delegates to you, because they can trust you. So that's trust. Next one is E, that's empowerment. And that kind of goes with that delegation. You trust someone enough to delegate them, now you have to empower them. You have to give them the ability to do what they need to do. That's what empowerment is all about. It is making sure that people have the ability, they have the power to do the things that they need to do. So when there's other people on the team, Liberty, whatever, that you're trying to empower them to do what they can do. And so the first one on there is enlist. So you show benefits and blessings of serving. And this whole thing that we do, as a team, is serving. I know a lot of people, the attitude is being a leader, I'm the big shot. That's why narcissists seem to gravitate toward politics, possibly the White House. But is that they don't really have the attitude of serving. So when you need to show people that when they serve, there's a benefit to serving, there's a blessing to serving. That's part of empowerment. You're helping people, you're enlisting people, giving them desire to want to work with you, to give them a desire to go door to door, to canvas, to call, or to go pick up trash with us. We like to pick up trash. We try to enlist people. So, it's helping them see the benefits and the blessings of serving and picking the trash. Expectations. You cannot inspect what you have not expected. So if people don't know what you expected them, how can you go and be like, well, you didn't do this right? They didn't know what you were looking for. Then how can you say you didn't do it right? But if someone knows what you're looking for, then you can inspect it. Then you can help them see what it is that maybe they didn't do right or didn't do wrong. So people need to know your expectations of what you believe in them to do. And then equip. You want to adequately resource, assess gifting, and then train for competency. So as building the Liberty team, we want to make sure people have the resources that they need. It's kind of difficult sometimes, especially if you're new to libertarianism or anything like that, to be resourced, to know what you're doing. People need resources, not just a Facebook group, because there's lots of Facebook groups that are very trolly and very violent to someone who's trying to learn about other ways. So we need to equip people and create resources for them, but also help them see what their gifts are, what their abilities are, that they can be used to work and to help out. Because everybody's different, everybody has different gifts, different abilities. So we need to help people do that. And then start training people to be competent in what they do. You can't just expect people to be competent. You got to help them and train them to be competent. Engage. You want to trust people with responsibility and then unleash them with authority. So you need to let people know that you trust them with responsibility, that you give them the responsibility. They need to know that you can actually trust them to do it. And then when you do, you give them the authority to do what you give them the responsibility to do. They need to know that they have authority to act upon it. You ever had that where you didn't know if you really had the authority to do something? You know, you had a job, but you didn't really know if you had the authority to do the things that your job wanted you to do. You had to go talk to a manager or something. So you need to have the authority to do what your responsibility is. Evaluate, you monitor them through accountability. Everybody needs accountability. You know, to be accountable, have an accountability partner, someone like that, just to make sure that check on each other to know things are going good. One more is encourage. So encourage means you praise them in public and correct them in private. A lot of times, have you ever seen where people don't want to correct people in public?
Yeah.
And it's just the worst thing in the world.
Bad inheritance.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder with some of the recent stuff that's happened in the party with a certain vice chair, I wondered, did anyone, when it first started, go privately to say, hey, this is not the way you should probably be doing this, especially the chair. Because the chair's job to be running the thing, and the vice chair is supposed to help the chair. So, like, did he go privately and say, hey, this is probably not the best tactic of what you need to do? I don't know. All I know is that we pretty much publicly tried to correct him, and I don't know if there was ever a private correction. So there comes a point when someone can't be corrected in private, then it has to become public. But definitely praise people in public. When somebody does a good job, does something, we need to make sure we're always letting them know, hey, let everybody know, hey, look what so-and-so just did, it's a good thing, because it motivates people when they get praised, when they get that praise for what they're doing. So those are the things. What was this point? This was empowerment. So these are the things that empower people to do what they need to do. Now, accountability, that's the A in team, accountability. The first word is accountability, and it's offering necessary information before it is required. So the first word is accountability, the same as this. But then the last word is required. And what that means, when you're an accountable person, let's say you're at work and you can't get a project done on time, instead of not getting the project done on time and waiting for someone to say, where's that project at, you offer up the information before it's required and say, hey, things are going on, I'm working on that, but I'm not going to get it done in time. And that's being accountable and offering up information before is required. And that works in every situation. Is just being accountable, letting people know before they ask you about it what's going on. That's being accountable. So I have a little diagram here. It's on the back of it's a pyramid. Do I have it on here? No, I don't. On the pyramid, this is a pyramid, I guess, of accountability. In liberty and libertarian, we like the word rights. Because everybody got rights. So we're going to talk about rights and responsibilities. So this one right here is responsibility. This one is rights. And so I'll just throw some up here, and you can take these, you can put some up, and you can do them in different order. So just ones I threw on there. I put at the bottom parent, teacher, your pastor, priest, rabbi. I put peace officer. I did not say police officer. I'm trying to encourage them to be peace officers. Governor, representative. Governor might go up above those. Representative, senator, and president. And so at the bottom, you see it's really wide. You have a lot of rights. And if you're just a regular person, we know as libertarian, we like to believe that people have God-given rights And that when we created America, when we created through the Constitution, we pretty much put on loan rights to the states, and we also put on loan rights to the federal government. And so they're rights that we can get back. Those rights belong to us. So we all know that we have rights that people can't take away. We only loan them out to the government. So as you start at the bottom, when you become a parent, you start taking on these responsibilities. You have to kind of temporarily give up some of your rights. Because when a kid's sick, you can't be like, well, I'd like to go watch television right now and take care, instead of taking care of you. So even though that's your right, that you could go watch TV if you wanted to, you kind of give up that right because you now have a responsibility to take care of a child. And it kind of just goes up as you're a teacher or any of these positions. So you get to some of these positions, those lines get smaller and smaller. Like the President of the United States, he probably has the least rights of anyone in the country because he's having to do things for everybody. You get to a point, or as vice chair of a party, you kind of give up some rights when you get to a position where you can't just say what you want to say or do what you want to do because you have a responsibility to all these people. So you can always leave these positions and get your rights back. Well, except for being a parent. It's kind of hard to give up that. But it's like I said, you can't say I'm sick and then I don't want to do this today. Once you start giving yourself more responsibility, you have less rights. And so it says your options decrease as responsibilities increase. So your options and your abilities, the things that you can do, will start to decrease as your responsibilities increase. So the more responsibility you have, the more rights you temporarily give up, until you get them back. And so that's being accountable. That's accountability. The last one, the letter M is for mentorship. And the definition of a mentor is an experienced advisor and supporter, somebody usually older and more experienced who provides advice and support to and watches over and fosters the progress of a younger, less experienced person. And that's the technical definition, but I don't think it has to be a younger person. I think a younger person can mentor an older person. It's based on the experience, based on the knowledge of what they have. And there's different ways to find a mentor. Sometimes a mentor can be a book. Sometimes they're people I've never met before. I'm reading their books. They're mentoring me through their books of what I read. I'm learning from them. That's a mentor. You have Lola, I was looking through the site, all these wonderful women in leadership or in different positions that would make great mentors. And someone once said, to get a mentor, just get out there and try it. Just call them up or write them. Like he wrote like a millionaire or something like that and said, hey, can I have lunch with you? And to his surprise, the millionaire said, yes, you can have lunch with me. And he was able to ask me questions. So I would say, look on that website, find people that interest you and say, hey, I'm just looking for a mentor. Will you be my mentor? There are two ways to receive wisdom. One is mistakes and one is mentors. And the best way to gain wisdom is through mentors, because you don't want to make mistakes. But as we know, we all learn from our mistakes. We all gain wisdom from our mistakes. It's so much better if you can get a mentor so that you don't have to do that. So let's talk about the difference between a mentor and a best friend. This is very important because a lot of people, I know, if they're starting a business or trying to do something, they talk to family, they talk to friends, or they have they're an entrepreneur, they have a great idea, but they go talk to people who are failures instead of talking to people who are successful.
Talk about this every day.
So, you got to find the right people to help you get to where you're going. The first one, your mentor is not necessarily your best friend.
Yep, exactly. This is good stuff.
Your best friend loves you the way you are, but your mentor loves you too much to leave you the way you are. So your friends, they're like, oh, I love you, you're great, but a mentor wants you to be better, and so they're gonna love you to the point of becoming better. Your best friend is comfortable with your past, and your mentor is comfortable with your future. Your friends are, they're fine with who you are, who you've been, but your mentor wants you to be better. Your mentor wants you to succeed. Your best friend ignores your weakness, but your mentor removes your weakness. So friends will overlook, what's wrong in your life, or what's going on that's not good in your life, but your mentor will try to help you become better, remove those weaknesses, remove the things that are keeping you down. Your best friend is your cheerleader, and your mentor is your coach. And think about the Philadelphia Eagles again. I've been to Philadelphia. I went to a Philadelphia parade, and I believe that the cheerleaders for the Philadelphia Eagles were there. They were fine and dandy. They were great. But in a football game, those cheerleaders are on the side with the pom-poms and cheering them on. They've been cheering them on for years, and they hadn't won a Super Bowl. Then they got this new coaching staff in, the coach that people wasn't too sure about. I mean, before that, it was Chip Kelly. He was supposed to be the greatest thing ever, and he just was making it bad for them. And then they brought in this new coaching staff, and they played the best they played in decades, and they went and won a Super Bowl. So as great as the cheerleaders are on the sidelines, they did not help them win a football game. It was a new coach that came in. So your mentor is your coach. Your friends or your cheerleaders are going to cheer you on, but you need a mentor or a coach who will help you win the big game. And then your best friends see what you do right. Your mentor sees what you do wrong. Your friends are always like, hey, that's good, you're doing good. But a mentor is going to find those weaknesses, find those little points in your life that you need to change and that you need to make better. And the last 2 points, and I adjusted this since I was talking about Lola. I adjusted it and used a female pronoun.
Appreciate that.
And says, but you can change it if you want to, because women and men can find mentors in women and men. So you could have a female mentor, you could have a male mentor. I could have a female mentor or a male mentor, both, because everybody's got something to offer and to help somebody along the way. So your mentor sees things you cannot see. She sees weaknesses in you before you experience the pain of them. She sees an enemy before you discern him. She has already experienced the pain of a problem you're about to create. So, each and every one of us, your mentors made mistakes, and we make mistakes, and we're going to turn around and mentor someone. Because of her mistakes, we don't have to make the same mistakes that she made, because she's already seen the pain of her mistakes. So we don't have to experience the pain and mistakes that she made. We're going to make our own mistakes, experience our own pain, but we can turn around and help somebody else to not experience all those mistakes and all that pain. So it's kind of just this flowing of helping other people as they pay it forward. Was it that movie? Pay it forward. So so the pain, that we can learn from her mistakes, we can learn from her pain. And then the recognition of a trusted mentor can prevent 1,000 heartaches. Someone said about mentorship, that is the permission to walk into your life and help you quit being a jerk. So the permission to walk into your life and help you quit being a jerk. And I know a few jerks, so maybe we'll get them some mentors. No, that's pretty much what I brought tonight. It's more of a, teaching moment. It wasn't like keep the campaign going or anything like that, because the truth is, for my campaign, I need team people. People are going to be like this. They're going to want to help. And so as we keep going, we're going to have the website up by next Friday. Should be next Friday. It should be up by then, because we got to have it up for the convention. And we'll have some bumper stickers coming in. Some really cool bumper stickers. And he's shaking his head because he knows he's seen the design. It took me a little while to figure it all out, but I got a nice, cool design for that. So we have bumper stickers, and we'll take donations. Oh, yeah, you said something about donations. If you want to donate, we'll take your money, give it to Chris. He's the treasurer. And if you do, make sure we have your information so I can send you a T-shirt. If you do donate anything tonight, you talk to Chris, and we'll get your information, and then I'll mail you a T-shirt. So then you can tell everybody to vote for JC. Both of them.
I tell everybody he's my second favorite person.
So I think that's
He
it.
was a libertarian too.
That is true.
The first libertarian.
Well, thank you, Japheth.
He might have been an anarchist. We don't know.